What's going on, people? Hello, hello, world. How are you? I am doing excellent. Thank you for joining me for this live episode of Art of the Matter, episode 10. Art of the Matter is a show by, for, and about artists that seeks to highlight the state of arts and culture from the artist's perspective. I am your host, T Dub. I want to thank you once again for joining me. And we are going to skip what we normally do because we have a jam packed show. I have two in studio guests, and I also have Aramis Hamer joining me virtually. So we're going to get right into it. It's a live show. We got to get it all in. And we have an excellent episode 10 for you coming up in just a few short minutes. But first, I want to get into my first guest. Well, actually, no, first. Actually, wait. First, we'll do. Let's keep it right. You can like, comment, and share the show. Make sure that you are letting people know about Art of the Matter, people in your community, people in your neighborhood. The show is by, for, and about artists again, and we are out here trying to represent what's going on in Seattle from our perspective, and that perspective is important. And it's all the more important because I finally get to flex the fact that Converge Media won an Emmy Award. Can we get a round of applause for that? Man, the simple fact that, okay, this is my first time actually being back on TV since it happened. So this is the first time that I really get to yes, we did that, bro. Thank you so much to Omari for leading the charge. Thank you, Trayana Holiday, for showing us how it's done on this microphone and on this TV screen. Thank you, my whole Converge family. We are really out here doing it, and I'm so proud of us. So I had to get that out the way first. Bing, bang, boom. Okay, now we're going to get into our first guest. I have in studio with me the man behind the camera himself, Mr. Lex Scope. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you for having me here. And before we even, congratulations again on the Emmy. As somebody in this space, like that's one of the highest media accolades ever. Like,
yeah,
I'm trying to be an E guy. You already ahead of me by one.
E.
So, that's very, very, very dope. Congrats to everybody over there at Converge and everything. I'm just excited to be here. Like, I love this space so much.
And thank you again for joining us. So the first time I actually kind of got formally introduced to you was the last live episode we had. You and Perry came through to the studios. We had Perry on the show, and you were here in the audience kind of deal. Got to get know a little bit about what you got going on the film side and behind the camera. Mm-hmm. So can you let the audience know what it is that you do?
So long story less long. My name is Lex Scope, aka Alex Alexander. I'm from North Carolina. I'm here by way of Tacoma, though. So, everybody think I would be here in Seattle, but I'm definitely like repping Tacoma. Anything that I say from Washington.
Word.
But I'm a full-time filmmaker, full-time artist, and a creative, which means every single day I wake up and art is the only thing on my prerogative. It's the only thing on my agenda.
Word.
Not to say that I haven't had jobs with Nordstrom's or people like that I can work with.
Yeah.
Not with.
Yep.
But I'm a director. I'm a filmmaker. I own a media production company, music videos, short films, commercials, weddings, whatever. Like I pride myself in being versatile and not like letting them force me into a niche or whatever they say, because I would like to do everything. Like the other day I got to shoot a really dope video at Queer Bar.
Okay, word.
You know what I'm saying? So if I only branded myself as just the guy that shoots music videos, I might not have even gotten that opportunity.
Right. Real talk. That's dope. And you definitely, he's a man of his word because he actually brought content creator here with him. So there's another guy behind the camera. So that's how you know it's real. Like that's how you know that this is your life.
Yeah. We actually filming a documentary right now.
Like, oh snap! Okay.
Yeah, I seen that Kanye West Genius thing, and I was like,
yeah,
I'm finna and that's my guy Sartik. He runs Starship Media, and that's my guy.
Word.
Like he, as soon as we met in a way where we just get it.
For sure.
Especially because he's a content creator as well. So when you meet people that are full-time artists like you, there's just certain inherent things that y'all understand. That's why me and Perry got along so well.
Right. You actually did a music video for him recently that just dropped.
Yeah, Life of the Party out now on YouTube, featuring Blake Anthony. It's the first single off Perry and Beluge's Chariot. I shot the video at a dope high-rise in downtown Seattle. Like it looks beautiful. The vibes are there.
It's definitely the vibe. The paint got a little sip situation. Got the ladies going.
I really love when artists.
Tezza in there.
Tezza Talks. Shout out to her. The reason I'm even so comfortable here is because me and her ran a podcast for a whole year.
Word.
Me and her and Poison Jams.
Word.
Called Legendary Link Ups. The whole first season's out.
Okay.
Audio, video, and everything. So
very cool.
This is another level.
Yeah. Well, yep. Live TV, baby. It is what it is.
Yeah. It's cool.
Very cool. Well, if you could just tell us like a little bit about how you got into filmmaking in particular.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, in North Carolina, I was one of the skaters in North Carolina in a place where that it wasn't really a thing because Lil Wayne hadn't really made it cool yet.
Right.
So so basically, I was shooting the skate videos for the homies, and for me and my little brother, I took my mom's camera that she had, and we was shooting. Worked at TJ Maxx. That's where the fashionista maybe started. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I got a camera from Radio Shack, RIP Radio Shack, and I shot like a music video because I rapped and I still do. But I realized there's a lot of people that were making music, but also like Fader and Ear Milk and the blogs were big at that time, and they weren't just taking songs. You had to have a dope video.
Right.
None of us had dope videos, and we didn't know nobody that shot videos / could not afford to pay for a video, especially if you don't have like a song.
Right.
So I kind of pivoted way back then and was like, you know what? I love music. It's my first love, but let me just try something else real quick. And I went to college for graphic design, kind of the bridge to the story. Right. And kind of in college, I didn't graduate, by the way. I went for one semester.
College dropout, same.
But I say that they put all the art kids in one class, right?
Right.
So they have all the art kids in one class. If you're a drawer or a graphic designer or a filmmaker or whatever, you all got to take intro to drawing.
Yeah.
You all got to take intro to whatever. I don't know.
Right.
So we were in one of those intro to drawing classes, and one of the other students in there was like, yo, can you come, be in a project for us, be on camera, we like your style, whatever.
For sure.
So I'm like, cool. I'll go over there and do it. They gave me like a case of beer and maybe like $50, something like that. So I went and did it, and we filmed in front of a green screen, and we filmed whatever. And I literally looked at him and I was like, bro, this is what y'all do for class?
Right.
Like, unfortunately, where I went to school in North Carolina, we didn't really have like a film class or an intro to, you know what I mean? We had like maybe like some stuff that was supposed to be kind of like that. Maybe they bunched it all together in an art class or something. But when I got to college and I was like, yo, y'all are just shooting movies in school?
Right.
That's a job. Like, I dead ass didn't even know I could do that.
Right.
So kind of after that, I didn't go back to college, but that sparked me knowing like, yo, that's what I want to do. So by the time I came over here, by the time I really I figured out what I wanted to do at a young age, maybe like 20. I knew like, yo, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Got you.
And I think some people are still in college today trying to figure that out.
Very true.
But I think because I figured that out, that was just like, yo, this is what I want to do. Everything else just built around that. Like, I just got signed to a talent and a modeling agency.
Wow.
But that didn't happen unless I was a content creator putting my own stuff out, because I'm too short, got too many tattoos.
Right.
Be a model or whatever.
Yeah. It's all good.
But no. So I think if it wasn't for putting content out and shooting videos, I wouldn't have ever gotten signed.
Yeah.
Because
putting yourself out there too.
The modeling agencies wouldn't take me. I'm short.
Yeah.
You gotta be like 6 foot tall to like even for them to even look at you. And
it's real.
You got like a sleeve, but the times are changing, but not that much.
Yeah. But you definitely clearly have a knack for figuring out how to present yourself in a way that is going to get you to those places that you want to be.
Yeah.
And that's a skill and that's a talent that you don't necessarily get in school. Some people, like you said, go through 4 years of college and realize that they're on the wrong path. So to be able to have that mindset and have that awareness of where you are is definitely very important, and it's true to a true creative.
Thank you.
And one of the things that we're going to talk about today that you have going on is the Scope Vision. What's it called?
Scope Sessions.
Scope Sessions.
Baby.
Yes. So tell us about that going on at Crocodile.
Okay, so it's at the Crocodile, but it's at the part of the Crocodile that really not many people know about.
Right.
So there's the Crocodile, and then there's like Madame Lou's, and then under that is like a speakeasy-esque kind of like theater where they do like film screenings and comedy shows and stuff like that.
Right.
And I shot a comedy show there. Like, they paid me to pull up. I'm like, okay, shooting a comedy show was dope. Shot the video, it was amazing. Shout out to Fun and Flirty. But that let me know, oh shit, this venue exists.
Right.
So as soon as I found out it exists, I had my assistant do some emailing and things of that nature, because I learned, hey, I'm not good at that. Like, I can shoot a video like the best of them, but email, it take me like 30 minutes to do that. Like, come on now. So all of the logistics did get worked out, and we have a monthly installment over there at Hereafter, which is what the part of it down there is called. It has like a Wes Anderson style lobby. It got barcodes in the seats where you can order alcohol and food to the theater while you're watching the show. But long story short, it's like a mini film festival. That's what it will eventually evolve into, because I think like a year from now, accident sometimes. So right now, this very first one, it's going to be like a screening of some very highly acclaimed music videos that we've put together over the past year or two that without this event. And a lot of music videos, if anybody is watching this that has a music video, has it ever gotten screened in front of an audience of people?
Right.
Ever.
Real.
Ever. Especially your peers.
Yeah.
Drinking, chilling, having fun. How many times we sat with our friends just watching YouTube videos?
Right.
So finally, you can have a curated list of films that you have or may not haven't seen, and then we're going to premiere the documentary as well that we've been working on for the past month or two.
Very cool. And you're planning to do that on a monthly basis at the hereafter.
It's already locked in on a monthly basis.
Boom,
I
boom.
think on paper I should probably prove to them that it's a dope idea,
right?
But that's just if people show up, I think. So
yeah.
You know, if you're not busy Tuesday the 21st, shout out to my little sister, that's her birthday also. But if you're not busy on the 21st, please come to the Crocodile in Seattle, Scope Sessions.
Yes.
The very, very, very first one. We're gonna make sure this one, let's say, starts it off with a bang. I'm trying to not say too much, but it's definitely not just watching movies. We're gonna have some merch there. We're gonna have some crowd interactive experiences. We got some sponsors that are gonna give away some raffles and really, really, really validate why you should come here.
Yeah, I think this is an excellent idea because, like you said, like me and my friends, when we're at the house kicking it, having our little kikis, we'll put on a playlist of music videos, and that just makes the party. So to think about a different spin on the film going experience, you know what I mean? Like you're really putting your own little spin on that, and I think that's dope too because we all love to go love a good movie.
Thank you. And it's like $20 to go to the movies now.
Come on.
I'm only charging 10.
Only 10 bucks,
and you can drink in there.
Yeah.
Come on, like, definitely. And you can talk during the movie.
Come on,
like
it's
not excessively, but like you're with your homies, you're with people. When do you ever go
right.
to the movies and it's a group of people you know?
Exactly.
Never for me.
Yeah.
But like I go to the movies every Tuesday because I'm like an AMC partner, so like I just know a couple of things. But every Tuesday they have $6 movies.
Boom.
So every Tuesday I go to the movies.
Yeah.
Like and not pay $20. I could bring somebody and still like not pay the same as one ticket.
Right.
And I just think it is dope. And I love all the events I shoot with music and people selling clothes. But I feel like, why would I reinvent the wheel? It's already enough people doing that. It's already enough people doing live performances. And why should I clutter that if I feel like I could try to do something that ain't nobody else doing?
Exactly. And you're doing just that. So I definitely want to thank you for coming through and letting us know what's going on. If you want to point to this camera right here, let people know how they can find you, how they can learn more about
Yes. I've been having so much fun on here. It's called Scope Sessions, by the way. If you want to know any more information about that, you can follow me on Instagram at Lex Scope, LEXSCOPE. That's actually my socials on everything too. Like for SEO and like findability, you can just type that pretty much anywhere.
Yep.
And you will find me and only me.
There it is. Smart man, Lex Scope, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for having me. This was so great.
Thank you for being
trying
here.
to stop cheesing.
I know we can talk forever, but we got a jam-packed show. So after this break, we are going to get into our next guest. He brought me a little bit of gear. We got Anime Amin coming up right after this break. You are watching The Art of the Matter.
Hello, my name is Ramon Bryant Braxton, and I am the artistic director and conductor for the historic Juneteenth musical that will be presented at the McCaw Music Hall on Sunday, June 19th at 6 p.m. The musical is entitled Songs of Black Folk, Music of Resistance and Hope. This concert will feature the rich musical traditions that have been birthed from the African-American experience, including spirituals, jazz, gospel, R&B, hip-hop, and spoken word. An orchestra plus rhythm section will accompany internationally renowned soloists Bridget Bazile, Solomon Howard, and James Conner, along with local artists Felicia Curry and Robin Henderson. Our special guest artist will be Mr. Darren Atwater, critically acclaimed composer and founder of Baltimore Soulful Symphony. Additionally, a choral group of local singers will present diverse arrangements of iconic African-American music. You can reserve your free tickets for this phenomenal event on Ticket Leap, searching One Seattle Juneteenth, or on the McCaw Hall website. Please join One Seattle in partnership with the New Beginnings Christian Fellowship of Kent, the Church Council of Greater Seattle, and a long list of community sponsors as we celebrate freedom with music that speaks and heals every soul. COVID protocols will be in place and masks are required.
Welcome back, folks, to Art of the Matter, episode 10 live show. Sadly, our guest, Anime Amin, is stuck in traffic. So we are going to go ahead and pivot like we do because it's live and we're creative. And we're going to get right into, right before we get into the episode, we're going to tap in with who's joining us virtually, our featured artist, Miss Aramis Hamer. Aramis, you there, sis?
Yes. Hey, can you hear me? Can you see me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Hey, we
Looking
here.
great. Yeah. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm so grateful for technology. Like, I promise I'm like an alien or like an old person who's just constantly amazed by the internet. Like, I'm here with you through the interwebs, and I'm grateful to be here. Still a little raspy from the show.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so you just been celebrating because you had the birthday and you had the long-awaited Zodiac show that happened this past weekend. Tell us about what that experience was like. Obviously, you lost your voice, so it must have been good.
Hey, Gemini season. It's not a game when the Geminis come to play. Okay,
let's go.
So look, shout out to Lex. Actually, he came through to the Zodiac show, so it's dope seeing him like on the show. Just saw him last week, but yeah, it was amazing. I'm just like amazed at everything Converge is doing. So once again, congratulations on the Emmy. That's so well deserved. And I was just looking at the teaser for the show tonight and seeing some of the B-roll that Brady got, and it just took me back to the install of the show and all the work that went into it, and it paid off. It paid off. The community came through, and it was a blast. Yeah.
Yeah, so beautiful. Obviously, sadly, we couldn't be in attendance because that was the same night as the Emmy.
Right? That's
event.
all right.
So, yeah, we were both doing dope things, so that's totally okay. But I definitely plan on coming to see the show. It's up at 9th and Thomas right now, so make sure you go check that out if you haven't already. But yeah, right before we get into this episode, I want to like talk a little bit about it before we get into it. But so I subtitle every episode, and I subtitle it, depending on what the conversation is, what the flow, what the energy, the theme seems to be. And I decided to title yours The Art of Femininity, because that is something that I think you just embody in the best possible way, because it's not about daintiness or scarcity or anything like that. Like you exude so much strength in your feminine power. And I think that is just so important to see and so important to amplify, given where we are in the world, especially when it comes to Black women,
Thank you.
Definitely.
I feel that. Thank you, T. And it was so much fun talking with you. Like, and I haven't seen the edit cut. I was like, I don't know how y'all gonna chop that up. I felt like we was just vibing for a minute. So I don't know how long the episode is.
Right.
It was fun. It was fun for sure.
Definitely. Always a pleasure talking to you. And I know we could talk for hours, and we almost did, but we definitely, the episode is great. Obviously, the whole point of the premise of doing the live show and watching the episode with the featured artists to get their honest and immediate reaction. So I definitely want to so that's the reason why you haven't seen it yet. So we can all watch it together and, and talk about it after. So
I like that.
Yeah, I think now is as good a time as any to go ahead and get into this episode. You got any last remarks before we go into it, Aramis?
No, I'm excited. Yeah, looking forward to it. And thanks for everybody being here who's in the live. It's dope seeing the chat. So, hey, everybody, feel free to drop your question. I guess, are we doing questions? Like, we're doing questions afterwards? Or
we'll do questions after. But right now we're going to get into this episode 10, The Art of Femininity with Aramis Hamer. This is Art of the Matter, and we are live.
Get in my head like, I don't feel like explaining this. I don't feel like talking about it. It's like, okay, but do you want to be misunderstood? Yeah, it's like, I do not. So let me take the time to articulate what my message is.
Right.
You don't got to articulate it to everybody. You know what I mean? It's like, it's for the people who want to hear it, who want to experience it and witness it, because we spend so much of our time trying to convince somebody of something. It's like, I'm not spending no more energy.
episode 10. We are here at Aramis Hamer Studio. Is this what do you call it? What do you call this space?
Yeah, my studio.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yep.
That's me.
Yeah.
I moved here. I had another studio. So it's like a big warehouse.
Yes.
Of all different artists in this space. And so I had another studio down the hall.
Right.
That was like about 1/16 of this size. It was literally like a walk-in closet.
Right.
It was one window and it was facing a brick wall.
Wow.
Like, so this is like my dream studio, having all this natural light, like a corner studio, 3 big windows.
Right.
Yeah, like we manifested that shit. We manifested that.
Ashe.
And so, yeah, this is where it goes down. This
Beautiful.
wall is where I staple my pieces up. I love painting on a loose canvas roll.
As opposed to straight up.
Stretch canvas.
Got you.
Yeah, it makes it easier to store it, you know?
Okay, yes.
Because the 12 Goddesses, like the Zodiac series that I just finished,
Right.
I would not have been able to store them.
Right.
They're so big,
They're
but
huge.
because I was able to roll them up,
Yeah.
worked out.
Smart. Well, cool. I'm so glad that we get to sit down with you and talk about the Zodiac Show. We'll get into that, but I first want to take it back to the very beginning.
Very beginning.
For Aramis Hamer.
Okay.
Chicago.
Chi-Town.
Tell us about it.
Chi-Town. You know, look, South Side, the suburbs, living our little, you know, like when you like lower middle class,
Right.
but you don't like,
Yes.
you don't really know how broke you are until you're an
Right.
adult. You're like, oh, but mom's made a way. Like
Yes.
both my parents, my dad and my mom, just like amazing people. And they always cultivated my creativity. I think that's super important
Very.
for kids, you know? And I really can't imagine where I would be if my mom was like, sit the fuck down. Like,
Right,
what are you doing?
right.
Stop doing all that, you
Yeah.
know? My dad would draw with me. We would like just be sketching at the kitchen table. Yeah, one of the first things I learned how to draw was a tree. I remember it was in 2nd grade. Miss Hartman class.
Come on, Miss
I
Hartman.
thought it was like like it was just magic. She was like, you draw the trunk and then you extend it and then you make a V. And you keep going and you make more V's. And then like it just branches out. And I
Right.
thought it was like pure magic. The way that I was able to make a tree with such simple lines.
Right. So the artistic beginnings start pretty early for you. Shout out to the parents that actually, you know, support that. Because I know it can be difficult sometimes. People always want to tell you got to have a plan A.
For sure.
That type of stuff. You
For
know,
sure.
go the college route, go the such and such route. Like be safe, be comfortable.
Well, and to be fair, they were on that too. You know,
Right,
like
okay.
the thing, it's like, you know, like when your folks are supportive, but you just still feel this certain expectation, like everybody's going to college for medical field or
Right.
an engineer, like something that is like a stable, secure job.
Sure.
So even if your parents isn't like saying it directly, like, no, you can't do art, you just still kind of feel this pressure,
Yeah.
just like from society, from your
Right.
peers.
Right.
Like, so like I was in AP art classes
Word.
in high school.
Okay.
And everybody was preparing their portfolio for art school. But my mom was a nurse.
Gotcha.
And my uncle, like everybody was in healthcare. So I was like, yeah, no, like, it honestly, like, Tita, it honestly didn't even cross my mind to go to art school. Like nobody in my family ever did that. And so that's why I think like representation is so important. Like seeing somebody do something,
Right.
you're like, oh, that's possible, you know? And don't get me wrong, because the Chicago art scene is lit.
Of
You know?
course.
But it's like when you go into like the Art Institute of Chicago or like all these different big museums of people who are like flown in from New York or
Right.
came in from LA, you like,
Right.
oh, okay, like that's a special kind of person. That can't be me.
Right.
You know? And
Right.
so that was my thing with Chicago, but I love it. I love it. I mean, at some point, yeah, I ended up going to nursing school.
Okay.
That was it. It was like, yeah, I'm going to nursing school. I graduated college 2011.
Okay.
You know, and so the recession was like 09,
Right.
2010, you know, so it was like, yeah, no, you not about to be painting.
Nah, that ain't gonna work.
I'm gonna need you to grab a stethoscope.
Yes.
Like ASAP.
Yes.
You know, like that was the game plan.
And I know nursing is very involved. So were you able to find time to still be creative during that time?
I was, because I had to. It was like my art therapy. You know, like I would come home after working like a 12-hour shift and just paint in the corner. We was on 53rd and Drexel, and we had a basement level apartment. And so it had like the bars on, on
The window? Yep.
But yeah, I had my little corner right there in the window. yeah, that was my peaceful place. That was my place to just express and heal and to just to let it flow.
So important, especially I would imagine being a nurse in Chicago is definitely.
Yeah, and I'm not good at taking orders.
Okay, tell me about it.
It's like, I think I was honestly born to be an entrepreneur because I do not do well with authority. It's like, if you tell, and it's like with nurses, like we're fulfilling the doctor's orders.
Of course.
It's like they put an order in, you got to do it.
Right.
And mind you, I'm like 21. I'm fresh out of nursing school. Like,
yes.
fresh.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, no, doc, I don't think that's right for my patient. He's like, who is this little girl?
Right.
Yeah, I actually got written up a couple times.
Wow.
Yeah, your girl was out here $2. But my thing is, you're not about to tell
You're not about to tell me.
You're not about to tell me what's like. I mean, especially when people's lives are at stake.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like this is somebody's grandma.
Yeah.
You know, and if like I've been with her all day.
There it is.
I didn't seen what happened. To me, this doesn't seem right. So can we talk about it? Can we have an exchange? You know,
Right.
No, they weren't
Right.
too keen on me doing that.
Right. Sidebar, how do you feel about where Western medicine is right now, given the pandemic and all of that?
I think it really shined a light on how chronically sick we are.
Right.
You know, it's like when you are already have a weakened immune system, anything can take you out.
Anything.
You know, and so I think a lot of people realize like, oh wow, I haven't been taking care of my health in general.
Yeah.
You know, like how can I do better? Different things are incentivized.
Right.
You know, so it's like, okay, if you do this, a hospital can get money for it, or you as a patient can get money for something, you know what I mean?
Right.
Preventative health care isn't incentivized.
True.
It's like we actually don't even encourage people to take a more preventative role. You know, like hospitals make more money with the more procedures that they do and the more medicine that they distribute. It's like, yeah, you're using more resources, you should be paid for that. But at the same time, if you're thinking about the true longevity of our entire society, we have to thrive through a healthy society. I was working in the ICU step down unit. So this was like a critical care transitional unit.
Wow.
So people were really sick.
Yeah.
And I felt like I couldn't even do anything. I'm like, by the time you get to my unit, like, you're really
already,
sick.
wow.
So it's just like, yeah, I went to good old Google. You know, I was like, there has to be another way. Like, how do we do something that's more holistic for the people?
Right.
And yeah, learned about Washington, Seattle, Bastyr University, started their naturopathic medicine program. Yeah, was doing that, but then like I met so many dope artists. You know, I was like, oh, like, y'all like, for real. You know, like, we would go in like different coffee shops and like see all this artwork up. And to me, that felt attainable.
Right.
That was like, oh, okay, like this is a place that I'm going to get my coffee, and like here's an artist and their information is here, and it's like I can buy that and support them. And you know, like it felt really accessible to me. You know, one of the first artists I met was Siobhan Haynes.
Yes.
I love Siobhan.
Word.
She is the sweetest human being on the planet. She's a great artist, and she's one of my patrons.
Dope.
And I feel like when I met her, that really opened up the gates to meeting so many different artists.
Word.
So through her, I met Hiawatha Davis.
Yep.
I met Delton's son.
Yep.
Love Delton. We actually got to collab on a Jimi Hendrix mural at NAMM.
Awesome.
The utility boxes, we painted that together. He put his classic hummingbirds on there. So
beautiful, man.
yeah, I mean, this was like my early journey meeting everybody when I first came out here, and everybody was just like, oh, hey, you know? I was doing festivals, Folk Life Festival, Alki Arts Festival, Umoja Fest.
Of course, shout out to Umoja.
Right, yeah, shout out to Africa Town and White King Garrett, like the whole fam over there.
Right. When you first got to Washington, how would you describe your art style?
I was still on a Chicago vibe.
Got you.
Yeah, so when I moved out here, I was actually doing a lot of abstract work.
Okay.
Surprisingly enough, I was doing like cityscapes.
Got you.
And it was inspired by Chicago's landscapes. We would always ride the train, the red line. So I had this piece that was kind of like, it was like a subway and buildings and kind of like this city, the Chicago energy that was interesting enough. When I moved out here, in that Chicago lane, I was using a lot of reds, a lot of oranges, a lot of warm colors, a lot of fiery colors.
Yeah.
But the longer I stayed out here, just that like Seattle cool blue,
Right.
you know, started to come in, and now I feel like blue and purple is like the classic color palette in my work now.
Got you.
And I think that's definitely just influenced from like the rain out here,
Yes.
the overcast. You know, I feel like this city is kind of like kissed in blue.
Definitely.
You know.
Ooh, that's beautiful. Come on, Kissed in Blue.
Right.
I love that. That just sparked an idea probably
Oh, nice.
for somebody.
Yeah. It's beautiful, and it's
yeah.
interesting how when the sun is out, it's a completely different color palette. Like all the colors are here, you know.
Right.
But on this overcast day, it's like everything's like this cool blue gray.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Which feels really nice.
Definitely.
It feels still.
Yeah.
It feels very still. I feel like I'm able to actually do my deepest work in the stillness.
When the world isn't so busy,
Yeah.
you can really focus. And I think that's one of the things that Seattle lends itself to artists, especially creatives, writers and shit like that. Like
Yeah.
when the world is still, you have no distraction, right?
Exactly.
So now you get to focus on whatever it is that you're trying to create.
Environment plays a key role, you know? I mean, I feel like I got healthier out here because there were more healthy options.
Right.
You know, like when something, it's like we as human beings, we lazy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you make something easy for me,
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Right.
You know, it's
if
like
McDonald's is close by, that's what it's gonna be.
Exactly, that's what
If
it's
the
gonna
salad
be.
spot is close by, that's what it's gonna
That's
be.
what it's gonna be.
See, I mean, Chicago has definitely gotten a pretty bad rap nationally and internationally for being like high murder rates, especially in Black and brown neighborhoods.
Yeah.
What do you know Chicago for?
Unfortunately, that's what it is. You know what I mean? I think it's still important to be honest.
Right.
And hold each other accountable.
Right.
And yeah, because it's real. It's real. And so the hospital that I worked at was Advocate Trinity. So it was on 93rd and Jeffrey. This was like the south side of Chicago.
Okay.
There were a lot of gun violence that took place down there, but our hospital wasn't a level 1 trauma center. So it's like we didn't even have a hospital that could help these kids get the help that they needed.
Wow.
We would have to transfer them to a different hospital, and they would die on arrival, like in transit. You know what I mean? Granted, maybe I have that lens because I worked in healthcare and like I
Right.
saw the
Yeah.
kind of worst of the worst.
Sure.
But there's a lot of truth to what's going down in the Midwest.
Sure.
Chicago is like the most resilient people
Yeah.
ever. Like even when I came out here, it was like, yeah, no, I'm good. Like
Yeah.
I'm good
Right.
because like Chicago made me a soldier.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So coming out here, it was like, let's do it. Let's go.
do it.
Like let's go. Like I can take rejection. I can take like anything you gonna throw at me. We got it.
Real.
You know, and I think it's some of the most strong, resilient people. Some of the best art, the best music, some of the,
Right.
you know, just like so much love is there. A lot of my people from New Orleans and Mississippi.
Okay, got
you.
you.
Know, the whole Great Migration.
Right,
You know,
right.
so I say like Chicago is like northern Southerners.
Yes.
in like the best way. You know? And it was funny, like when I came
Absolutely.
out here, people was like, you got kind of like a country accent. I was like, really? Like I don't hear that at all.
Yeah.
But I get it though, because there is like, you know, there was that whole transition
For sure.
that took place. And yeah, everybody who got family in Chicago, they got folks down in Georgia.
Always.
You know, down in Mississippi, down in Louisiana.
Right.
Down in Texas, you know, Texas
Yeah.
is seeing a huge boom. So yeah, I just it kind of makes me sad a little bit to even have to be honest about that. But
Right.
I think that's where the change happens.
What do you think it'll take to tame that energy?
I think that there is power in resources. What's interesting about Chicago is like everything is cut. Like there's no funding for the school systems, for mental health, for nothing. And we seeing that in a lot of places, but
Right.
some of it was happened very early on in Chicago.
Yeah.
If you cut off the blood flow, if you cut off the resources and the oxygen going to that city, it will die, you know? And what can happen though, which happens in a lot of cities, happen out here in Seattle, gentrification.
Right.
So it's like the money comes in, but who is that money given to?
Right.
How is that allocated?
Yeah.
And how is the neighborhood changed where now the people who originally lived there don't have access anymore.
Real talk.
Now, I've been seeing that happen for like years in Chicago, but in Seattle, it's happening at warp speed.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I have never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
And, man, that's why I just want artists to get the bag. Like, I'm just ready to buy city blocks.
Right.
We gotta do what we gotta do at the end of the day. You know, I'm out here applying for the grants, trying to get the money from whatever organization that's giving it to me.
Yeah.
But, it's like if artists are in a position of financial power, we won't have to ask nobody for nothing, you know?
Hello?
It's like, you know what I mean? It's like maybe we could flip all these warehouses and turn them into art studio spaces, and creators can really transform their work, because something major happened when I moved into a bigger space.
Right.
I was able to create more. I was able to create bigger,
Yeah.
more. I was able to create more freely. I really want to get competent with the actual business side and the actual finances that's taking place. And I think as artists, sometimes we kind of keep ourselves in this kind of lower space, like, oh, well, I'm gonna just be here selling my $20 prints. And it's like, yeah, no. And like, let's vibrate higher, y'all.
Right.
Because when we able to do that, we can give more. And I'm also just getting to a place where it's like, I'm not asking permission anymore.
Period.
You know, it's like it's not like, oh, can you give us a space? Yeah, no, I'm just about to come up and I'm gonna buy a space.
Yeah.
And like you can do whatever you want to do.
Right.
But we not asking nobody no more. And I think that was so dope about the actual Black Lives Matter mural.
Right.
It's like we about to do this.
Right.
And I think that was so inspiring and so empowering, where it was like, okay, we did this. We didn't ask we wasn't asking nobody for permission. We like, this is what we want to create, and this is the message that we want to share.
Right. The world of Aramis Hamer when it comes to your art is beautiful.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? And I don't know if there are patrons that are more well taken care of than yours.
Man.
You know?
Man.
And that's like when you talk about having to, you know, appease certain people within the corporate structure and get your art through that avenue. You've had that experience, you don't love it, there's parts of it that are not enjoyable.
Yeah.
Now you've pivoted, and now you have the people that are now your corporate structure. You know what I mean?
100%, 100%. And I've also learned at the end of the day, you're gonna always have to please somebody.
Right.
You're gonna always have to please somebody. Pick your poison.
Yes.
As a Gemini though, I play on both sides. So it's like, cool, I'm about to be in the corporate spaces, we about to get the bag.
Right.
We also gonna be over here with the people, and we can build relationships.
Yeah. How did you get to the Zodiac Show?
You know, it started back in 2017.
Okay.
I was like, I finished up another kind of small little mini, I don't even know if I would call it a series, but I had this series called Trap Conscious.
Yes.
It was like about hip hop and like the chains and breaking free of the mental chains and like trap music and like all these different layers, you know. And I love study. Like I like something that I can like put my whole self into and like research it and pull different aspects of the archetypes, for example, for the Zodiac sign, pull their different archetypes from their story and incorporate it into the painting. You know, so for like Libra, it was like, okay, Libra has the scales. It's like, okay, what's my interpretation of that?
Right.
Okay, let's put the chains in there. Let's put the crystals. Let's put the geodes. Let's have the clouds. You know, Libra is an air sign. So I felt like it gave me a lot to work with, you know? There's just so much about all the different archetypes that you can take it so many different ways. So I was like, okay, cool. This will be a great place to start. I think what's so beautiful about it is that we're all of the signs. It's like, even if you are born, like say your sun sign is like Gemini, you still experience that Taurus energy during Taurus season. It's like we all still experience the energies together. So it's like, it felt very holistic, and it felt like, okay, we're all in this together. And a lot of my stuff is about how we're all connected and how we're all one and how we're all just on this golden link, you know, of just our collective consciousness, you know? So the Zodiac series felt very, very holistic, you know, and I like that it was finite. It's like, okay, when I finish the 12 are done. You know, it's
There's
done.
No secret book of like 37 other signs.
There's actually a 13th sign, but that's a whole, I actually might do another piece on that, but yeah, that's a whole thing. But yeah, so the next thing that I'm doing is like another thing where it's kind of outlined. So I've been reading these metaphysical books called The Law of One. It's like 5 books. It's crazy. It's like, I won't even go into the whole thing, but they were the original presenters of the tarot. So I'm gonna do a tarot series of the 22 major arcana.
I was gonna say, because the Zodiac series definitely gives me tarot vibes.
Yeah.
So that's
It feels like the next chapter to do it. But this is even deeper. Like this is like the Egyptian tarot and like the god of Ra, and just like not your Eurocentric tarot with the kings and the queens and the priests and the empress.
Right.
It's gonna be very very comedic.
Well, I'm sure after the Zodiac show, you'll be looking forward to taking a nice little break from from the work. But like, what do you do in those times? Like, how do you recharge and refuel in between shows?
Me and Andy, we came out here and went straight peeing up.
Yeah.
Okay, we went straight Seattleite Pacific Northwest vibes. Like we out here hiking and camping and like doing all the things.
As
but
you should. What do you hope for the future of your art?
I would love for the future of my art to be iconic. You know, the way they talk about Picasso, Warhol, Frida. I really want to redefine the space, because when you first think about a contemporary fine artist, a Black woman isn't the first one to roll off your tongue. You know, you kind of, and like, don't get me wrong, there's some amazing Black women artists out there. It's just not the first one that we all go to. Put in like Black women artists in this fine art space. You know, it doesn't have to be only at certain spaces. Let us have it at the Louvre too. Let us have it at the in Venice, you know, in Australia, in New York. Let us have these experiences as well, and let's redefine what a fine artist looks like, and it doesn't have to be like an old white man, you know.
Real talk.
So, but a lot of my work is rooted in spirit too, you know. So it's like remembering that at the end of the day, like nothing really matters. Like we're all just here playing the game, and it can be fun or it can be miserable depending on your perspective of it, you know.
I mean, we've learned so much about your art today, Aramis. I want to thank you so much, as always, for
thank
just
you,
being
Tina. This is
holding
amazing.
it down.
And congratulations on everything. Like,
you know?
this is amazing.
Thank you.
I'm honored. I'm honored for you to be in my space, and
Yes.
I'm honored to have, you know, just to have my work to be a part of your narrative as well.
Likewise.
It's just
Likewise.
I'm honored.
Likewise.
I truly am.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good deal. All right. I think we got it.
That's a wrap.
Yay.
That's a wrap.
Shout out to Creeps. Yes, there you have it, folks. Episode 10. Oh my gosh. Man. How do you feel?
It. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fantastic. That was so fantastic. I love how you all incorporated the B-roll footage from the show and from the Black Lives Matter. I was so exhausted that day of installing the show. Like I didn't even see Brady running around like getting the footage. But yeah, he definitely did the same thing. I'm seeing all y'all comments. Thank you, Irene. It's so dope that like Siobhan was actually here. She was here watching.
Yes.
So shout it out, Siobhan. I love her. She's always just supporting everything that I'm doing. So yeah, thank y'all so much. Thank you as well, Harriet. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it.
No, glad you like it. Yeah, I mean, we covered a lot in the time that we sat down and talked to one another. And, you know, from your roots in Chicago to the nursing background to how that all flipped for you, to the BLM mural, to the Zodiac show, like, you know, you've done so much with the time that, you know, you've you've been doing what you've been doing. And so it's just amazing. And I always, like I say this every episode, I always learn so much about people through these types of conversations. And that's why I think they're so important, because even me as an artist who is familiar with the craft and familiar with the culture, I'm still learning. I'm still able to learn from people. So I can only imagine what, the viewers are getting from this conversation. So definitely, once again, thank you for sitting down with us. I saw Irene Torre, shout out to Irene, asked a question. Do you have any Chicago-based influences that you can speak to?
Oh, that was an awesome question. Definitely Hebrew Brantley. I love Hebrew Brantley work, his work. So he does a mix of like actually oil painting, street art, graphic novels. He's actually like diving into some sculptural pieces. But what I love about his work is that he has this sort of like street art graffiti style, and also like caricature and like cartoon style work. Where he does a lot of images of Flyboy. That's like his iconic image, kind of inspired by the Tuskegee Airmen. So he'll have these little boys with the glasses on. He actually painted a mural out in Pioneer Square on like third and like maybe James or something. But what I love is about how he's been able to transition his work from street art and graphic novels into the fine art space, where he's had like huge exhibits in museums, but he's also collaborated with musicians and he's done like album art for some really dope musicians. I think he had an art show, and actually like Chance the Rapper was performing live at his art show. So I just love how he combines all the things, like whenever I think about artists, Hebrew is definitely somebody who I look up to. One, he's Black. Two, he's living. You know what I mean? It's like let's let's acknowledge the living artists who are out here actually making history as we speak. And he's definitely one of those people who break those boundaries, not feeling like, oh, you got to stay in one lane, like you have to only do this. He literally does it all, and he inspires me to keep creating and to keep redefining what art looks like.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Hebrew. He's definitely doing the damn thing. And, speaking of different avenues, you also have other projects that, you do outside of painting. And one of the things that we didn't get to discuss at the interview was the Trill effect. I was going through the Instagram. I was doing my little deep dives and stuff, and I was like, oh, hold up, like the Trill effect was such a dope little collaboration. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
The Trill is coming back. Okay, so the Trill effect is a collaborative group between me and my girls. My friend Kamari Bright, she's an incredible video filmmaker, a poet, a published author. She's a model. She is a creative director. She literally does everything. Okay, she's exceptionally talented. She's a Jack Fellow. Like a award-winning artist. She actually went to Paris. She went to Cannes Film Festival. Her work has been accepted in so many different film festivals all over the world. And then also, who's a part of the Trill Effect, is my girl Blue the Baki. She is an incredible published author and poet as well. Like bars, okay? Like anytime Blue opens her mouth, she literally spits fire. And I'm just so honored to have a dope group of friends. She is truly the keeper of the crown. So not only is that her Instagram name, but like genuinely that is what she does as well. She's a creative stylist. She does hair. Her main space is braiding, and she literally does like sacred geometry in the crown. Okay, so y'all need to definitely follow them. But between the three of us, we're collectively called the Trill Effect. And Andy, my husband, so he was just saying that the other day, because of course the girls came through to the Zodiac Show. He was like, babe, like when are y'all doing another Trill? Like people were at the show asking like, hey, like when's the Trill coming back? We coming back, y'all. We coming back now that the world is opening up a little bit, and we feel a little bit more comfortable being out in the world and connecting and building and growing. Yeah. Some things are in the works. It's been beautiful that we all have been building our individual projects, but we have been talking about coming back together soon. So thanks for asking T about the Trill.
Yes.
I love the gang. I love the gang.
Yes. Yeah. You three together, like on an individual basis, can't be touched. So the three of you together is definitely a force to be reckoned with. So I'm so happy to hear the Trill Effect will be back on the streets here pretty soon. That's definitely dope to hear. And, given the fact that, you worked on the Zodiac Show, was it since 2017 you've been working on those pieces?
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's like 5 years in the making. And now here we are. Like, what, and you talked a little bit about it in the episode. Obviously, I imagine you want to take a nice little break since that,
Right.
show is finally completed and come to a close. You talked about your next venture in the art. And you tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely working on taking that break, right? Like this is like this week I've been straight up chilling. I was just talking about it on my Instagram stories. Just relaxing, really trying to make sure because I think like buffer space is important between creative projects. And that can be difficult, especially in just the constant world of like social media and creating and feeling like we always have to have something new and next.
Right.
But I do thrive with having kind of something next and having kind of my gears turning and preparing my sort of creative mental palette for what's to come. And yeah, so that's definitely going to be a tarot series, but inspired by the books of the Law of One, and really just rooted in this idea of that we all are one and that we are connected. And how does this evolution of consciousness personify itself in tarot? Yeah. So that's really what I'm looking forward to. It's to really just dive deeper. I love spirituality. I love metaphysics. I stay in the clouds constantly. So a lot of that inspires my work, and why I have a lot of cosmic themes and a lot of different spiritual influences throughout my work. And so I feel like the Zodiac Show was a perfect place to kind of intro people, right? Like everybody's familiar with astrology. Like even if you kind of don't believe in like all the different signs, you still have like a base level knowledge of it. But I'm excited to go deeper with people to talk even more about our spirituality, because I feel like we're all looking for that. Like we're all looking for like, why are we here? What's the point?
Definitely.
What's our purpose? What's the mission? And I think it can really ignite some powerful conversations.
I absolutely agree. And we definitely will be looking forward to that show when it arrives on your time.
Right. Hey, look,
Thank
you. Appreciate that.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, Aramis, thank you so much for joining us virtually. I'm glad you enjoyed your episode of the show, episode 10.
So much fun.
Let
So
people
much
know
fun.
before you get out of here how to get in touch with you.
Well, definitely my website. So aohamer.com. It's like Fannie Lou Hamer. That's how you spell it. And that's where all my things are. My YouTube links are there, my Instagram links. And of course, hopping on the newsletter is the best place to stay in the loop. Yeah. And somebody had mentioned in here that those shots were crispy, crunchy. Yes. Okay. Like, just thank y'all again for even coming with like the high quality. Okay. Like, it ain't like y'all ain't out here on no, like Brady came with the
He came with it, didn't he? Yes.
I said,
Shout out to Brady.
You with it. So thank y'all so much. Thank you to everybody here. Harriet, thank you. I see your comments here. Thank you so much for the comments on the energy. And yes, we are 100%. So yeah, y'all should definitely check me out. aohamer.com. That's where you can find everything. That's the queendom.
Beautiful. Yeah. Well, folks, you heard it here from the lady herself. aohamer.com. Definitely join that Patreon too, because you're gonna get all the goodies and all the updates and all the news. Excellent. Yes.
Thank you for reminding me.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Absolutely. Cool. So we're gonna take a quick little break, and when we come back, before our closing remarks, we got the man here. He's here. Mr. Anime Amin is in the building with us. He brought us some merch, brought us some things to talk about. So we'll get into that in just a moment. You are watching Art of the Matter.
The truth with proof. If you nice with the sports, then he swooping through. He gon' highlight you. Ain't nobody live like us, fly like us. We gon' find you, put the city behind you. Let us know you got skills. We gon' be at a game. In the Northwest, we reppin' the city where it rains.
Everyone's invited to the Prom. From the creators of the Book of Mormon, Elf, and The Drowsy Chaperone, The Prom is a musical comedy about big Broadway stars on a mission to change the world and the love they discover that unites them all. The Prom makes you believe in musical comedy again. So full of happiness that you think your heart is about to burst. Everyone deserves a chance to celebrate.
On sale now. Tickets at fifthavenue.org.
All right, we are back. Closing remarks are Art of the Matter. Before we do that, we got Mr. Amin in the building. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. I'm glad you could join us. I know it was a long drive,
Yeah,
long
man,
journey.
I don't like Seattle, man. Driving
Definitely.
out here is a pain. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it can definitely be real. I wanted to have Amin here on the show because actually, and speaking of the power of the Converge Network, I actually met him at Base's media mixer last month. He saw me. He said he saw I had the little drip going on. He was like, "Yo, I make clothes. You want to rock some stuff?" I was like, "Absolutely."
Yeah.
And it just so happened that he hit me up with my merch a couple of days ago. So I was like, "Why don't you just drop it off on the show?" So that's why we're here, man.
Yes, sir.
Definitely. So can you tell the people a little bit about your art and what you do?
Yeah, so I've been an artist for like literally my entire life.
Word.
It got to a point like sometime later last year where I was like, I mean, it's either work retail, you know what I mean, or just like just go for it. So
Right.
quit my job around February. I had my LLC around September last year, so everything was kind of set up.
Right.
I wanted to be basically the only Black-owned skating brand in Seattle, Washington. I did it. I'm the first one. So I'm not the first Black-owned. There's a woman in California. She's doing it right.
Right.
I'll find a link for that for you later. But
Dope.
yeah,
Wow. So the first Black-owned skating brand
officially,
in Seattle.
yes,
Officially.
yeah. We
Man.
got some skateboards. We got a big launch coming July 4th.
Okay. 4th
Pretty
of July.
excited. Yep.
Very cool. Very cool. So the brand is
Goldie Crew.
Goldie Crew. Yes, Goldie
yeah.
Crew. And I was peeping your work on the Instagram, and it's definitely got a very anatomical feel to it.
Yeah,
Some of the
yeah.
pieces, it's like a lot of subject matter in
Yeah.
your graphics. So can you tell us like why that's important to you?
Well, first off, my stepdad's a doctor. So when I was younger and learning how to draw, I would steal his anatomy books. Secondly, my mom is a designer. She used to design for Nordstrom.
Word.
She was a valedictorian in her design school in El Paso. So like growing up, my entire family, like I have a twin brother, he paints. My older
Word.
sister taught at the Art Institute. So yeah, my dad's a painter. Everybody in my family is artistic, and my stepdad's a doctor. So
Man,
yeah, just one day,
that's
you know
pretty
what I mean?
wild.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, yeah, again, the Goldie Crew on Instagram. You can check out the work. And you actually brought me some merch.
Yes, I
We got a
did.
nice little, T-Dub loves the drip. I love to be nice and looking good for y'all on the show. So it's necessary for me to have, the new hotness. So tell us
Yep.
about this new design.
So part of the brand is also making sure I feed the boys. I got two people I work with, Mark and Hayden.
Word.
They're incredible. They handle the stuff I don't want to do, which is a lot of it, right?
Yeah.
So I get to handle graphics. They get to handle a lot of the other elements. But along the way, I was like, I kind of want them to be business owners, and I want them to get out of that whole mainstream job market that, you can get fired in a day and they wouldn't even bat an eyelash. So this is part of Hayden's launch, actually. So I hit him up a little bit, right when I quit my job, I was like, hey man, I'm going to drag you in this too. Come on, let's do it. And he was like, well, what do I need to do? He's a writer. He's from Cali. He's my boy.
Got you.
And I was like, I'm going to make a specific design for you, man. Like I already got Goldie Crew. We had like a solid 6 months where our conversion rate went past where the website for drop shipping was allowing like starting people. So they put me on pause for like a month. I didn't even realize
because your numbers was too high.
They were too high. Yeah.
Okay,
So when I came back, they were like, congratulations, we upgraded you not from tier 1 to tier 2, but we moved you up to tier 6.
Boom.
So I was pretty excited. And that's when we decided like, hey, let's do this thing. So this is Unk. The idea was essentially Goldie Crew handles skateboards and stuff like that. Unk handles sneaker shops. I want everybody to consider Unk as like the uncle at the cookout. You know what I mean?
Got you.
He gonna have some stains on him. He gonna have some, grease. And, yeah. But I wanted to bring you this one. This was a face-off. When I saw you were wearing some red, so I was really excited.
Okay,
I was
I'm
like,
gonna go
she
ahead and
don't
put this
even
on right
know,
now,
yeah.
actually. And so this is dope. Goldie Crew. You see it? Boom. We got the merch. We in there. And you also brought me a coloring book as well, because you're into the anime thing, and obviously the name speaks to it.
Coloring books. There's some stickers in there for you.
Tell us about that while I put this drip on.
Well, man, I'm a big believer in meditation, especially with art. I always figured that was the best way to kind of do it. I don't generally, especially with like a lot of men, Black men, they don't talk about their problems. They just we shove it down. So I find ways to get around it by like, you know, I tend to teach art when I'm feeling really anxious, or I make coloring books. So for me, I was like, I know it was fun to draw it. I know it's gonna be fun to color it. It's always more fun to color it. So there we go. The fit.
Lex,
That's exactly what we
Lex didn't
needed,
get a
actually.
chance to give me that one. But
Ooh,
look,
wee.
I got the card.
Yeah,
Hold on.
yeah, take it out. Make it
Gonna
look
do it
right.
Gonna do it right.
Yeah, don't disrespect that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, we in
There
there
you go.
now.
Instant collab.
Yes.
She's fitted. She can go to the
Look.
club right now.
I just
She can go right
so
now.
easy.
And that's actually the first crew neck we've ever made. So
Come on, I got
you
the
officially
first
got the
one.
first
I'm
one.
extra special.
Yeah.
Come on. What's that? And only 5 of
Ooh,
these
she's
that exist. So I'm really,
exclusive.
really in
Yeah,
there. Like you guys
she's
ain't really like on it like me. That's crazy.
You don't have this outfit. That's what we're saying.
Very cool. Very cool.
The book it's pretty short, but I mean the main thing is like I wanted to feature more Black faces and things because like I mean I remember growing up and like I couldn't find any resources. I could not afford art school. Like I looked at it, they were like, oh, it's just 30,000. I was like,
deal.
okay, a semester, and I was like, yeah, man.
Yeah.
So I quit. I'll give you this.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I quit doing traditional like sketchbook work. I was usually inkers and markers and inks and markers, and it ended up being one of those things where I would draw this like little bitty drawing on a big piece of paper, and I was like, I'm the reason for global warming. So I switched over to digital, and like when I did that, I went to this thing called a Cintiq. It was this big computer. I was drawing on it. When I got really good at that, my stepdad actually was like, hey, for Christmas, I'm gonna upgrade you, and got me a better one.
Wow.
So I just keep investing and evolving, and like so now I have a big 27-inch monitor I like sculpt on, and trying to make vinyl figures for like sneaker shops. So that's kind of like the next step.
Snap.
Shout out to Urbanity and shout out to Mecca in Bellevue Square. Hopefully I can get something done with them soon, but I did talk to Lee. Great dude.
Tight, man. So you do a little bit of everything: sculpting,
Yeah,
digital,
yeah,
3D.
Yeah, in the world
clothing.
of artists, you know,
Yeah.
like that whole they won't really know you until you die thing, like it
Real.
sticks. So you gonna know me before I die. That's how I feel.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
Say
gonna
that
something's gonna stick. So
Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
Dope. Yeah, thank you for being here. I'm
of
glad
course,
you made
thanks
it
for
through.
having me.
Go ahead and look at this camera. Let people know how they can find you and your work.
So you can find me on Instagram on at Anime Amin, AMEEN. So anime_Amin. Goldie Crew is Goldie_crew. You can just go to goldiecrew.com or DM me on Instagram. I'll send you the links to everything, literally.
Bless.
Cool.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you so much.
Tight. And on that note, we are 4 minutes over time. So I'm going to take this quick little moment to say thank you guys so much for tuning into the show. Once again, you can hit us up, comment on the show, contact us, Twitter, Instagram, obviously the website whereweconverge.com. If you want to learn more, if you want to get your art on the show, hit us up. Let us know what you got going on, because I'm definitely down to feature you. We got a few episodes left, literally 3 episodes left of this first season. I cannot believe it. But yes, episode 11 is coming up next, and we are featuring Miss Christina Martinez, aka So Trill, June 27th. We got her. We actually tapped in with her and Albasir. So yeah, it's going to be a really, really dope episode. Make sure you tune in. Again, second Monday, June 27th, Art of the Matter. We're going to be back at it. Thank you once again for tuning in. I've been T-Dub. Stay creative.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.